This is our 81 Days to Greatness Action webinar. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. And the purpose of this webinar is to let you know that you already have everything you need to get anything you want. Albert Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing something over and over and expecting a different result. You know, many of us have been at this point in the year. We're in the actually the 10th month of the year, and we have about 2.5 months left to get to the end of the year. And so often we get in the same position. I remember last year this time, we were working on a course, we were writing a book, and we were doing a lot of things. And many of the people that I was associating with and working with, many of them had some serious issues with hanging in there, with bearing down. And there was this tendency of people to say, well, you know what? We only have another month and a half left. Let me prepare for next year. Let me gather up. Let me organize. And let me start getting myself ready for next year. The challenge with that, though, is that wherever you end this year is where you start next year. And so if you end this year procrastinating and getting ready to get ready, then you start out next year procrastinating and getting ready to get ready. One of the things that we're going to do on January 1st, we're going to have a digital and online party where we celebrate all of those who have completed this 90-day journey, and they'll share the goals that they accomplished. So those of you who are on the line now and who will be joining, you have a date. Mark your calendar, January 1st of next year. We will celebrate the victory that we had this year in achieving our goals. I often like to start with the negative. Why do people fail to achieve their goals at the end of the year? Why do people fail to achieve their goals at the end of the year? And that's an interesting question, because when I thought about it and I really looked at people and looked at the years of my, and you know, everything that I share with you, everything I teach you, I've been through it. There's been times when I did not know where I was going, whether I was going forward, backward, up, or down. And so the number one reason that people don't accomplish their goals for the end of the year is they don't have any. Their goals are so vague and so with lack of definiteness that you really can't achieve it. Example, I think everyone would agree, my goal is to be happy at the end of this year. Well, happiness does not satisfy the SMART rule. And we know the SMART rule is that a goal must be specific, measurable, set in advance, realistic based on where you are right now, and cover a certain time period. And so one of the things that we're doing in this 81-day journey, is 81 is the number of days we have left in the year. You notice when we started, it was a 90-day journey. And the reason I keep changing the title is this: every day there's another day, we're another day closer to the end of the year. And so if we don't change and see the seriousness of it, the importance of each day, then there's a great possibility that at the end of the year will be just more of the same. So the number one reason is lack of clearly defined goals. So the goals that you want to accomplish this year in the next 81 days must be specific. So if your goal is happiness, then what does that mean? Well, it may have a financial aspect of it. My bills are paid. Okay. My debt is down. So that's a goal. And then part of happy means getting your bills paid, getting your debt down. What else makes you is a part of your happiness? Well, happiness means that I have a good relationship with my significant other, with my spouse, my whomever I'm related to. So now that's another specific goal. What do you have to do to have a good relationship with your spouse, with your friends, with your family? It may be that some of your others, it's a health issue. Now, a lot of times people have health issues, and there's an Arabian proverb, and it says, "He who has health has hope. He who has hope has everything." And so, if you have some health issues, your goals may be to lose 20 pounds, to cut down on what you're eating, to change your health patterns, your exercise patterns. The point is that whatever that goal is, it must be specific, measurable. Obviously, 81 days, we're setting it in advance. It must cover a certain time period, and it must be realistic based on where we are right now. So lack of clearly defined goals is a key reason that you don't achieve your year-end goals. You don't know what they are. The second reason people fail, even when you have a clearly defined goal, you still need a definite plan of action. Simple example. If my goal is to have $1,000 in my savings account this year, that may be good, or to reduce my credit card debt by $1,000. If that is my goal, then if I look at that goal and I say, well, this is my goal, we have roughly about at least 10 weeks, let's say 10 weeks left in the year, and my goal is to save $1,000, then if I break that goal down into weekly goals, then that's to save $100 a week. If I break it down into daily goals, assuming 5 days a week, that's $20 a day. And so what is my plan to get $20? That definite plan of action. It may be to cut down on some expenses. Instead of eating out, you go out to lunch. If you eat out to lunch every day, you're going to spend at least $10 a day. You can hardly even eat in McDonald's for less than $10 a day. So it may be that it's a great idea, an excellent idea why don't I make my lunch? Take my lunch with me, skip the Starbucks. In other words, you can reduce your expenses and achieve your desired goal. Whatever it is, you must have a daily plan of action. So that's a simplistic one. What do I have to do to set aside $20 a day? And then you follow that plan of action. The next reason that people fail is lack of a system of operation. So we said save $100 a week, $20 a day. What's the system of operation? It may be, for example, it may be okay, I'm going to make my lunch every day. It may be that I'm going to work an extra couple of hours at work. Once you start to set your goals and you look at and you make your plan is how do you accomplish the goal? It may be that you can work a couple of extra hours at work. We're going into the holiday season. I was reading where one of the big companies are hiring like 100,000 seasonal workers for the Christmas holidays. So maybe it's okay, well then let me get in the application line, let me get a job, a part-time job. Maybe I can even make more than an extra $100 a week. So this idea of having a system, system simply means that you have a method of operation that you can consistently apply. The fourth reason people fail is lack of skill and bad habits. Bad habits can undermine your good efforts. No matter how gifted you are on a job, if you show up late every day, no matter what you contribute, you're not going to be there that long. There was a basketball player, Allen Iverson, and a nice guy, played for one of the Philadelphia basketball team, and he was incredible. But they never won a championship. They wonder why not? Because his habits were not productive. Think about habits. Habits are things that you would like other people to duplicate. You know, our children hear what we say, but they do what they see. And so if we have bad habits, they tend to translate into our children. And Iverson did not like to practice. There's a clip of him on a news conference, and he says to the guy asked him something about, there'd been rumors that Allen didn't want to come to practice and didn't want to do this. And he said to the reporter, he said, well, why are you asking me about practice? Because practice is important. So bad habits, as you move into these next 81 days, one of the things that you'll need to do is identify those bad habits. Maybe it's tardiness, disorganization. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's lack of persistence, lack of focus, all these habits. Lack of skill. Do you understand how to put together your daily plan? Do you understand how to execute your daily plan and to have your daily method of operation in place? So lack of skill and bad habits can undermine your success for this year. And then number 5, and this one is really amazing, lack of support. So often we have a tendency to look at success as an individual sport, but success is really a team sport. There are so many activities and so many powers that you can access by interacting with others. For example, the mastermind process. When you use the mastermind system, 2 or more gathering, and there's a spiritual basis for it, 2 or more gathered on one accord, I am among them. I am is the making power. So that my efforts and your efforts. So Patisa, thank you. Patisa and I working together, 1 + 1, our output is more than 2. Because the mastermind relationship creates a harmonic that increases your energy level. It's almost like when you have a piano and you hit a middle C on the piano, every C on that piano vibrates. So lack of support. These 5 things can clearly undermine the achievement of your goals by the end of this year. Lack of clearly defined goals, lack of a definite plan of action, lack of a system of operation, lack of skills and bad habits, and lack of support. So now let's turn the coin. How do you succeed and accomplish your goals? There are 4 keys. You have to have the right mindset, the right skill set, the right toolbox, and the right support system. I'm going to go into a little bit into each one of these. The right mindset. The right mindset there, we call it the 4 selves. And I guess it would be SELVES, the 4 selves. The first self is you must be self-responsible. If you are not responsible for your success, then who is? If you're going to accomplish your goals by the end of this year, you must be self-responsible. You must take the bull by the horns and say, if it's to be, it's up to me. That idea of self-responsibility gives you great power because now you're taking control of your mind, your body, your emotions, your instincts in such strength or degree that they now work for you. So self-responsible. The second self in the mindset is you have to be self-motivated. You have to ring your own bell. When you're on this journey, you have to get yourself up in the morning. If somebody has to wake you up for you to pursue your success goals, you're never going to get there because your success depends on someone else. So you must be self-motivated. You must be able to create a level of desire so deep in your being that this desire can take you through the tough times. This desire can take you through the disappointments. This desire can take you through the failures. The third self is you must be self-determined. Now, this idea of self-determination works together with the self-motivation, because your why is your determination. Why is it important to save $1,000 by the end of this year? If it's just to look at it in your bank account, you probably won't do it. Why is it important to create a good relationship with your spouse, with the people that your significant others? Why is that important? That why is critical, because on that why is your determination. Without that determination, then you'll quit. Your determination is like a magnet. When you're very determined and when your desire is strong, you literally become magnetic and you begin to attract into your space that you want. The fourth self is you must be self-functional. Self-functional means that you must learn the skills. You see, living is a skill. Learn, practice, and master it. I saw that Herman, the vision guy, just joined us on this webinar tonight. And one of the things that he talks about is see your vision, see it clearly. And then the process for helping you get that vision manifested. So when you become self-functional, you'll take things like the 12 Universal Laws of Success. You'll take the book and you'll go through the chapters in the book and you'll learn, practice, and master how to overcome self-doubt, how to overcome procrastination, how to overcome lack of focus, because all of these are things that will slow you down on your success journey. The right skill set, we talked a little about it because it's intertwined. You know, I put them down as 4 different things, but it's important to see that they all work together. So the right skill set is learning those things in the 12 Universal Laws of Success and then putting them into action. When we talk about, for example, visualization and meditation, to learn how to do that so that it becomes a power source for you. The third key is the right toolbox. Now, we've been talking about this for a long time. And the success toolbox is something we put together knowing what it takes to be successful. I'll go over it quickly. We put the 12 Universal Laws of Success. We put not on the ebook, we put the paperback, and when you get it, you get an autographed and numbered copy. But we also put the workbook. You see, the workbook is a powerful piece because the workbook helps you understand what's in the book better. I believe that one of your goals for this year, for these next 81 days, is to take that workbook and use that workbook to help you get a deeper understanding of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. It has the audio book, over 6 hours of recorded information, so that over these next 81 days, you can set up a system to listen to the book a little at a time to get it integrated in with your consciousness. It has the home study course, which helps you assess where you are right now. So right now we have 81 days. A person says, okay, what do I do now? The first thing you need to do is assess where you are. Okay? And once you look at your successes, your failures, your shortcomings, your assets, this is like doing a balance sheet. And then based on your assessment now, what changes do you need to make in your life? Obviously, if you're on this webinar and at this point in the year, there's something that you want that's different from what you've been getting. So this process now of going through that new you home study course, assess where you are, address the changes that need to be made, set new goals. Now, the interesting thing about this is we tell you when I do this presentation, I say, send me your goals. Send me an email with 2 or 3 things you want to accomplish by the end of this year. And do you know very few people do it? Very, very few people do it. And so in the toolbox now, knowing that section on setting new goals can give you some help in formulating those goals. And then finally, that 4th piece, the action plan, how to lay out an action plan to get things done. So we've talked about the Success Toolbox. It's available, of course, on our website, herbertharris.com. But these 3 things are the bare essentials. They all rest on something that will make all the difference, and it's the right support system. You see, as long as you're working by yourself, I don't know, sometimes you just get lonely. Sometimes you get discouraged. Sometimes you need to have somebody around who says, hey, man, pick yourself up. It's not how many times you stumble down. It's the number of times you pick yourself up off the ground and keep moving on to meet your goals. So when we talk about the right support system, S means save, Y, your, S, self, T, time, E, energy, and money. System means to save yourself time, energy, and money. Anything that you can reduce to a system means that you don't have to think about it. Means that it happens automatically. Example, once you get into the system of writing out the things you have to do the day before, the night before, and laying out and scheduling when those things must be done, once you've done it over a period of time, it becomes automatic. So you don't even have to think about it anymore. You literally do it. It'll take you, if it took you a half hour to put it together before, you'll be able to do it in 5 minutes. So having a system gives you a modus operandi, a method of operation that maximizes your time, your energy, and your money. So now, let's talk a little bit about our support system. This will make all the difference in your success. The purpose of our support system is to support the team members in achieving their goals by the end of this year. And why is that important? When you're working by yourself, distractions, interruptions, and lack of accountability can throw you off. When you're working as a team, incredible things happen. You get the mastermind principle, you get the team dynamic. All these things lift you up to help you do what you want to do to accomplish your goals. So let's just take a little breather for a moment. We've been going pretty hard. I see we have Patisa, Roy, welcome. James, I saw, yes. I saw, let's see, Christian, thank you. Good for joining us. Let me just, okay, we got a good group in the house. So let's just take a little pause for a moment. Let me get some water. Let us just close our outer eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Okay. Let us move on. Now let's talk about the support system. What I will be doing for the next 81 days is on Tuesday nights. It's not on Tuesday night. I got to get with my assistant. Okay. Okay. I'll have to fix that. We do our mastermind sessions on Wednesday nights. We do it at 9 p.m. because we have a lot of people in the Central Time Zone, the Midwest, the Mountain Time, and the West Coast. And 9 o'clock sort of gives everybody a chance to get on, whether you're on the East Coast or not. Within our weekly mastermind session, so every Wednesday night, starting next Wednesday, we'll be doing a mastermind session. Now, we did one last night with my other group, but our official start for this success team will be next Wednesday night, and every Wednesday night through the end of the year. At 9 p.m., we do a meditation. And one of the things we do in our mastermind sessions is a teaching session. So that I'll begin to teach you all to do the basics of meditation. We have a success lesson. And one of the beauties of doing these Wednesday night mastermind sessions is that I'll be sharing lessons, but each week we assign someone a lesson, someone to teach a 10, 15-minute piece on something that they are, an experience they're having, or an insight they've gained on this journey. So those success lessons are like very, very powerful because there's no greater teacher than you for yourself. And when you learn from each other, it's even more powerful because you get that sense that what is happening is really being self-generated. And so we call these success lessons and team lessons, where each member, each week, somebody on the team will give a lesson, and it helps in many things. It helps with your public speaking. A lot of times in preparing to give your talk, it gives you a better understanding of what you're doing. We also do a weekly activity recap. And in the activity recap, when we open our mastermind sessions after we've done our preliminaries, each person in the session before has made a statement of intention. And when we come back to that session now, the group wants to hear what happened. You said you were going to exercise every day for 20 minutes. Did you do it? You said you were going to make X number of calls. Did you do it? And it's amazing. That activity report is awesome. I mean, as the leader of the group, I don't want to ever get on there and say, I said I was going to do something and I didn't do it. So that activity recap and the statement of intentions is powerful. And then each person sets their weekly goals and shares some of their learnings. Many times when we start out on this goal-setting journey and this goal-achieving journey, each time along the way you learn something new. And it's very funny when, let's say, Roy will learn something, and James will be saying, man, I had the same thing happen to me. A Christian will say, oh, you know what? I'm glad he said that. And so these interactions are very, very powerful in the mastermind group. So stating your weekly goals, and this helps keep you on track, because when you say, I'm going to do this, man, I guarantee you will not want to get on that session the next week and say, I didn't accomplish not one thing, didn't call a soul, didn't lose a pound, didn't do a single push-up. Yeah. In addition, we have our weekly success mentorship class. Every Saturday morning at 8 a.m., we do a class, and I do the bulk of them, but what we're doing now, we have different people doing the classes. I know Herman has done one, Dawn has done one, Carolyn has done, we've had a number of people. And so over this 8-week, I'm going to be encouraging others to be a part of this talking part, because sometimes you learn better by teaching. So we do this weekly success mentorship class every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And so you participate in the class to get the information and the discussion group. Daily accountability checkups with team members. Once we put our group together starting next week, we like to have accountability teams. That means you team up with somebody on the group. And what you do is each day. It's not a long, drawn-out, time-consuming thing. Can take 2 to 5 minutes each day. But you all agree on a time that you're going to meet, and it's generally by phone, a time, and all you're doing is, this is what I accomplished today. This is what I'm working on. This is what I learned. That's it. That accountability session, those daily accountabilities, I'll tell you that has made us a couple of $1 million. When I started out, I'm a network marketer. I work with a company, an anti-aging company, and I've been working with them for 14 years, and you can see it's working. Anyway, one of the reasons for my success, I had a sponsor. And every day at 4 o'clock, he was going to call me. And whatever I had said I was going to do that day before, if I told him I was going to call 10 people, let me tell you, 4 o'clock was not going to come around with me making excuses. So this daily accountability is a powerful piece, folks. And once you get that going, you'll see the magic that happens. In addition, twice a month, 2 35-minute personal coaching sessions every month. And that is important because many times when we talk on a coaching platform, it's a one-on-one thing. And so everything you may not share with the group, but you can sort of share those things that are really, really slowing you down and really, really holding you back. So these 2 coaching sessions every month through the end of this year. So that is our support system. We have the support system. We have the success toolbox. And we'll be implementing the toolbox. A lot of people buy the toolbox and they don't actually use it in the way they should. And so a part of this group think, we'll call it, will be to show you how to use each piece of the toolbox so that it works better for you. Many years ago, I was working with a company called Wealth Without Risk. That's a contradiction. Wealth without risk. And in this company, it was one of the early companies. I would come in and they'd run a TV commercial in the particular market, and then it's like those courses to teach you hypnosis. And I'd come in on Wednesday night, and, we'd have like 400 or 500 people at a big hotel room, and I'd do a little presentation. And Thursday we had another one. And Friday and Saturday was a 2-day workshop. And I think it was $395. And then the people would buy the workshop. When they left there, they'd buy the next course. We had like the super duper course. And one of the things we found was when we sent out the super duper course, and I think that was $695. We put in every box a letter that said, we're doing market research. And if you call this 800 number and let us know you're working with the kid, we will refund you the $695. And do you know less than 5% of the people call? That meant that less than 5%, because it was right there. The moment you opened the kit, it was there. So less 95% of the people who paid $695 never opened the box. So that says something about you. The fact that you're on this call tonight means that you're not part of that. It's about the active participation and actively doing what must be done so that you can achieve your goals by the end of this year. So let me bring us to the next point. I'm going to just recap the toolbox. The 12 Universal Laws of Success is in the toolbox. The book has been translated into 9 languages. The ebook is there, and the workbook is there. And this workbook, very few of you have used the workbook, but it's 70 pages of exercises and fill-ins that really crystallizes your knowledge. And the 6 hours that they recorded, the audio book, is so powerful because you can keep listening to it. I listen to it, and I'll tell you, sometimes I hear stuff, but I don't remember saying it. And then, of course, the New You Home Study course. We've been over that before, but to face the facts, assess your situation, make life changes, set new goals, and then commitment to action. One of the things that's in that success toolbox that you'll find very powerful is the 54-minute audio of a live interactive seminar that we did in Detroit. And you can hear that seminar, and that'll give you a whole nother understanding of the book and how to use it. And of course, the 12 affirmations to live by poster. We've gone over this poster. We do it in our meditations. I know we have sold over 50,000 of them, and we've probably given away another 50,000. This poster has changed more lives, many times than the book, I think, because people can work with these short ideas. Some of the other digital bonuses to help you, the Law of Command audio and the Wealth Building in Trying Times audio. So I just reviewed that because over these 81 days, we're going to take all of those pieces and put them together, and I'm going to guide you through this whole process. So now, this is the interesting piece. For all of the things I just told you about, the Success Toolbox is $47. Mm-hmm. For all the things I told you about, this is a package deal. It's $247. Okay. And I'm not going to ask you to pay that. But I'm going to ask you this, that the prerequisite to the course is the Success Toolbox. And I say this, if you don't have a Success Toolbox already and you're on this call, get it. Go to our website, herbertharris.com, click on Success Toolbox and get it. If you decide you want to make the journey with us, and I'll ask you to get your Success Toolbox and look at it tonight and tomorrow, but to make a decision as to whether you want to be a part of this team going forward within 24 hours. At that point, you reach out to me. You have your Success Toolbox. We'll send you an email, get some thoughts from you, and at that point, you can make your decision as to whether you want to go and be a part of this team and follow this whole process. So I think I've covered all the pieces. So the bottom line is step one, go to herbertharris.com, get your Success Toolbox. Think about where you want to be by the end of this year and what you're willing to do to get there. I know when you look at a price tag of a total of $247 between the toolbox and the whole package, you may say, wow, that's a lot of money. But I'll tell you something. If you don't invest in yourself, get out the game. I would not be here right now. When I started out in personal development, I was involved with a company that was a cosmetics company. But I went to all the presentations, and the cost of it was like a franchise, was $5,000. But a part of that $5,000 was a 4-week training, 3 nights a week, a personal development training. I did not want to sell cosmetics. I went to the person and I said, look, I don't want to sell cosmetics, but I want the training. What do I have to pay to just get the training? I was thinking like $500. He said $2,500. So I said, well, can I pay it down? Can I pay it like $500 a week, and it's 4 weeks, and that way I'll have it paid by the end of the class. Every time I'll show up with like the $500 and change. He said, no, sir. He said, if you want to take this class, you got to want it bad enough to pay for it. If you don't want it bad enough to pay for it, it's not going to help you anyway. Man. I thought about it, and that was on a Saturday. And let me tell you something. When he told me that, I had to have the money by that Tuesday. I thought about it, and I thought about it. So I said, whenever somebody whenever you need money to do something important, sometimes you have to just borrow the money. So I went to my rich uncle who's a lawyer, and I told him, I said, I got this program. I'm excited about it. It's going to change my life. And I told him all those things. And I was working for him. So, like I just really wanted a $2,500 advance. That's all. It wasn't like I was walking in. I worked for him. I said, I need to borrow $2,500 in advance. And man, and let me tell you something. Good thing we go to church because he cursed me out. Told me no way. I mean, he went off. I told him, I said, this is going to help me. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. He said, you're going to be the most educated poor man I know. You got no money. And it really bothered me. And he said, it's time I'm leaving the office. And I said to him, I'm not leaving until you loan me $2,500. He said, well, you're going to stay in here all night because I'm walking out. He walked out and he locked the door. I had forgotten one very simple fact. It was a two-way lock and I couldn't get out because we didn't keep a key in the door. Because what's the point of keeping a key in the door? If somebody breaks in, they can get out, right? So the end result was I was locked in. He left the office about 5:30, 5:45. By 6:45, I'm realizing I think I've overplayed my hand. I think I let this personal development stuff go to my head. And I'm thinking at this point, how am I going to survive? Because there's no bathroom in the office. About 5 minutes to 7, I hear these footsteps, and he walked very hard. Pop, 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 down the floor. He walked and he slung the door open, and he says, all right, all right. And he was cussing, but he was writing. He went to that checkbook, and he wrote that $2,500 check, and I took that class. And to this day, that class formed the foundation of every good thing that's happened to me. So those of you who listen and who listen in the future, number one, go to our website, get the Success Toolbox, herbertharris.com, click on the Success Toolbox. Number two, send me an email with 3 things you want to accomplish to be considered for the Success Network team to close out this year, achieving your goals. And so it is.